Fine. Okay. Okay, so let's begin. Sorry for the late start. I was in development. Interesting topic over there today. Yes. All right, so let's begin the technology committee for Tuesday, March 19, 2024. Can I please get a roll call?
Berlin.
Here.
Cahill. Carrier.
Here.
Eckhoff.
Here.
Galassi. Guston. Henry.
Here.
Kazmeri.
Here.
Mendrick. Rutledge. White.
Here.
You.
Here. And is there any public comment?
There is not.
Right, and
You just noted, sorry.
yes, member Glassy just walked in. You were in
Yeah.
development.
I was at, I took the students over,
Ah.
yeah, across the way, yeah, thank you.
All right. And there's no public comment. I've been advised.
Correct.
All right. And then could we please, actually, I need to do chairwoman's remarks and I have quite a bit actually. So first of all, I just want to let everybody know that the IT department's GIS team won another award, the Special Achievement in GIS, or the SAG Award, for our Police Transparency and Crime State Portal. Esri, the world's #1 GIS software company, awards this achievement to GIS organizations around the world for outstanding work with GIS technology. So thank you and congratulations to Tom Ricker and Tamara Freehat.
Yep.
For their hard work on the portal. They're constantly making changes and improving it to benefit the GIS user community. Number two announcement is with regard to the municipal roundtable. So behind the scenes, Anthony and I, Cheryl Marquet and Suzette from DMMC have been discussing the possibility of a county-led municipal roundtable where municipalities can learn best tech practices and where our IT department can present on topics of interest and what we are doing at the county. So Anthony already does a roundtable for all county departments and for offices on the county campus, including OHSEM and the sheriff's office. And I wanted to make sure that Anthony and his team had the resources to do this going forward at a countywide level, inviting municipalities into a municipal roundtable. So DMMC will now be sending a survey, or maybe they've already sent out the survey. I wasn't sure if we'd received confirmation, but the survey is being sent out to municipalities to confirm their interest in this roundtable. And I ask that each of the members reach out to your municipalities as well. And then lastly, at the last tech committee meeting and at county board, I had announced the exciting work that IT was doing in partnership with the Secret Service and the State's Attorney's Office. And just wanted to give you an update that a press release is forthcoming in collaboration with our county communications department, the Secret Service, and the State's Attorney's Office. So thank you. Okay. I'd like to approve the minutes 240943. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes from Tuesday, March 5, 2024?
So moved.
Here, a motion, and is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Any discussion or changes to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Now there are procurement requisitions. Can I get a motion on 240875, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Advanced Software Products Group for maintenance for 3,000 client licenses for React self-service password reset for IT for the period of April 14, 2024 through April 13, 2027 for a total contract amount of $18,295. I did hear a motion from member Guston. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from member Rutledge. Thank you. Any discussion with regard to this? All right. Would you like an update from Anthony with regard to this?
Only if you want to speak.
Yeah, so I'll make it quick. This is really just an application that allows for our users to reset their password anywhere. So, and we have multiple passwords, so single sign-on password, and if they're locked out, they can go to React to reset their password, no matter where they. So it's very convenient. People may not even realize that they have that ability, but if they lock themselves out, no matter where they are, if they are in a remote location, they can log on and reset the password. If not, they would have to come to county office, connect to our network, and then reset.
Thank you. Anthony, any other questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. I'd like a motion for 240876, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to McKinney
Second.
Systems for annual software licensing and maintenance for JESQ for printers utility for information technology for the period of April 1, 2024 through March 31, 2025 for a total contract amount of $22,940. I heard a motion from Member Guston and a second from Member Rutland. Any questions with regard to this item?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So McKinney Systems, for those of you who aren't aware of it, is a software company that provides applications for mainframe apps. So just want to remind the committee that we are working to sunset the mainframe. So we're hoping that this plus several other applications will, contracts will be gone next year. You won't hopefully see those. When that happens, I'm going to give a more detailed update on the decommissioning project in a second, but just want to remind you, you may not see this one next year.
Anthony, will you also be able to report on how much savings we get out of that process?
We absolutely will.
Okay, great.
We
Thank you.
absolutely will. We're actually tracking that now.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Thank you. So I'd like a motion to combine 7A JPSP 00924. Recommendation for the approval of purchase order to Logicalis Inc. for IBM Passport Advantage software licensing and support for the period of April 1, 2024 through March 31, 2025 for a total contract amount of $100,014.64.
So moved.
And ETSR 002324, resolution authorizing the execution of a transfer of governance of customer subscription to assignees terms as provided by Zendesk on behalf of the Emergency Telephone System Board of DuPage County. I did hear a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great. And then I'd like to move to receive and place on file the same item, 7A JPSP 00924 and ETSR
So moved.
002324. Motion by Member Guston, second by Member Glassy. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. All right, great.
I'm sure.
Yes, and I think you wanted to talk about either of these items.
Yeah, I would like to talk about the ETSR 23-24. I just want to remind the committee, excuse me, that you approve, the first half of this item in December. So it was a contract that we created with Zendesk to combine contracts and reduce the overall cost of Zendesk pricing with the health department as well as the IT department. The third organization was always ETSB, but they needed to get approval from their board first, which they did. And this is the follow-up from that. So now all contracts, there used to be individual contracts with different prices and different contract terms. Now it's one single contract with lower pricing by quite a bit, $20 per license, which adds up across the board. Plus it's a new functionality, additional functionality. As a group, we're able to get an enterprise license, which gives us access to more functionality, AI, more support, actual person helps us figure things out and things of that nature. So it's a much better contract at a lower price now that we combined our resources together.
Yeah. Thank you, Anthony. And I appreciate the fact that we've been getting more informational items in general for our agenda, so we know what's happening with regard to tech and different departments and divisions. So thanks. Okay, so now we're going to move on to IT project updates. Anthony.
Thank you. Bring up the presentation first. Okay, as you all know, quarterly, I try to give you an update on our enterprise projects. I always remind you that this is not an exhaustive list of our projects. These are the ones that are what I call the more critical ones, the ones that impact either more customers or where there's a big financial impact to the county. So I want to give you an update for Q1 of 2024. First project on the list is new Cadre contract, which the board approved, I think 2 weeks ago or last week, actually. We are implementing Toshiba and replacing our current Canon fleet of devices. There's 234 devices which will be replaced. 218 of those belong to the county, and we are also including ETSB on this contract. So 16 of their devices will be included. There's a lot of great things about this contract. The first thing I want to highlight is our partnership with the procurement department. Thanks to Valerie and her team, we worked closely on quite a few things, but we decided about a year ago that we would swap contracts. So procurement took over the printing contract. I don't know if you all remember, we meaning the IT department, were responsible for printing out things like flyers and business cards. We no longer, it has nothing to do with technology. So we swapped with procurement. They took on that responsibility. And then we took on the management of copiers, which used to be managed through procurement. So, and that's the first thing. Second thing is devices are right size, which I think is super important. Before there were copiers that were too large for an environment, really just too much machine for the individuals. So now what the team has done is they've worked with the individual departments, elected official offices to make sure that we are identifying the right model device for the right need. So it's super important. That will essentially cut down on costs for us, which leads me to the next item, which is cost savings. So the current contract is over $1.6 million for a 3 or 4 year period. This one's going to be $1.5 million, saving us a minimum of $100,000. We believe that, and don't hold me to it, but we do believe that we may be able to identify additional cost savings if we're able to control what's printed and at what time, what's printed, supplies, things of that nature. And the goal is to change how we print as an organization. There's new functionality like secure print. Secure print allows for anybody to print, walk to the device, put in a code, and then print it out. So you'll not have people printing then forgetting that they printed something till later on. So we think that'll save on paper and save on supplies. Another great thing about this one, we've centralized basically the billing and tracking. We have one central portal that we use to manage all of our contracts. There were multiple ways of tracking these things before, but now we've inventoried them. We're going to keep track of them and be able to keep track of both the billing and tracking for the entire county. There's a new feature called Phone Home, which will, again, I believe, help us save money on toner. In the past, departments would purchase toner and stockpile the toner for future use and not always use it. The new model would come out and they would have tons of toner that they no longer could use. With Phone Home, it actually lets us know when the toner is roughly at 20%, then it sends out a toner directly to us so that we can replace it, right? So there's no need to stockpile, no need to worry about running out of toner because we'll get notification. They'll send us a replacement toner and have it installed. So I think that'll save on departments going out and buying additional toner. And then just a key item highlight is that it's a short implementation period. Skip that. But essentially from tomorrow through the end of this month, we will swap those cannons out and bring in the Toshibas in during deployment. And we're working with the departments and elected official offices to schedule that. We'll train them as well. So Toshiba is going to be on site to train, but they'll also provide training videos as well as other training aids so that in the future, if we need to train people or they forget about a function or something like that, they can refer to the video or the training materials. Just watch items there, just time of implementation is a tight schedule, but the team tells me they're up for it and Toshiba's up for it. I've looked at their detailed project plan and I think they are. So I feel comfortable with it. And then making sure that everyone's trained and comfortable with the new technology.
Oh, yes, Member Rutledge, you have a question?
Thank you, Chair. 2 questions, actually. Well, 1 comment, glad to hear about less paper. Now, so the current printers, that was all leased, so Canon will be reclaiming those machines. It's not like we have to worry about.
That's absolutely right. By the end of this month,
Yes,
Canon
check.
will come and remove their device.
Thanks, Anthony.
Yes, Member Guston.
I actually have that system at my home office and it's great because once it's down, they ship me new, but they also take back the empty ones and then recycle them,
Yay.
which is great. So that's wonderful going in that
Thank you, Member
direction.
Wilson. That's absolutely right. That is one of the benefits as well. And not only will we save on paper, but keep in mind toner too. So they'll print less paper, but also toner that prints out. So, all right, couple of I want to move on to the next one. So I have quite a few. DuPage County Intranet, want to remind everyone that we are at now, and this is phase 2 of the website redesign. So the first project was all about external facing, people accessing us from outside the public, for the most part, accessing and getting information. Now, this part is really focusing on us as an organization and how we work. As you all already know, an intranet is a huge benefit to most organizations because it allows for employees to get access to all types of information in a very structured way. It saves on calls, emails, confusion, direct visits to people because they can go to the portal and find most of the information themselves. A lot of studies show that it improves employee morale because it empowers them, gives them the information they need, and then they can communicate and collaborate better across different departments and agencies. So we're very excited about it. The implementation started in February, it goes through June 2024. A couple of highlights you should be aware of. Number one, this is added at no additional cost. We are taking advantage of Zendesk, our help desk tool, which has that functionality. So before we had a separate tool that did the intranet, we had to pay for that separately. We're just taking advantage of existing technology we have to do this. Second thing is it's accessible externally through Okta, so there's security there. So people can log on to it if they're working virtually or if they're working, unfortunately, from vacation and they have to log on to get access to important information, they can do it in a secure way using Okta. It has a very similar look and feel to our new website and our new help desk portal. And we did that on purpose so that people are comfortable with it, they can navigate it and then know where to go. It includes process improvements, which I think is awesome. An example of that is community services, teams working with them on the intake process, and it will help them automate some of the manual steps that they currently use in that process. It also leverages AI, which is super important. It'll help us just make things more efficient with AI. And then it'll include an interactive phone directory, which we don't have currently today. People can get to people quickly, find their numbers, who they are, who they report to, other critical information that is not easily available to us.
Will they be required to have that information on that?
They would not be
system?
required to have
Because
it.
sometimes you want to find somebody's number and they are not listed anywhere and you have no way to find them.
Yeah, we can.
Except walking to the desk, to their office.
It drives me insane too. And I think if we can get someone or a policy that says they have to, I think it makes sense. So when I look for people too, in the global address list for email, same thing. That's voluntary. People
Some
have
people
to
think
add
they're more
information.
important than other people and they don't need to be on there.
Yeah. But I think it's a good point, and I think we should make it mandatory, especially for internal use. It's not external use. But it's when you need to track people down, you don't know what department or exactly where they are. Be nice to call them quickly, find their information, call them quickly.
That's a question, Treasurer Henry.
Yeah, let's just say the question, they bring point.
Yes, do you have a question?
Sure.
The accessible externally, is that through standard web browsers or like a Zendesk app?
It's a standard web browser, yeah, that you log into. So, and it's mobile friendly too, right? Yeah. Okay. Just the watch items here is timing. And then the big one is, in order for it to be successful, any intranet, you have to have communications and HR participate because a lot of information comes from them, a lot of content. So and we're already working with them. We just very, very clear on that. We're working with them. Information that goes to that news to employees is important to employees' policies, all that stuff is posted in the intranet. So we have to make sure that we have a tight relationship with them to keep the information current and accurate. All right, and this is a look of it. I'm not going to go over it for the sake of time and want to let you know that in one of our upcoming meetings, Debbie Deasy, our web services manager, will come in and actually do a demo for you.
Okay, great.
All right, next item, this will be quick. ERP, the big Dayforce HR payroll system implementation is going well. We are on track for a July 1st go live for the new system. A lot of new functionality, A lot of manual processes will be replaced with automation. They're currently in UAT. I think a lot of you received communication to let you know when UAT will happen, which will be through the next month, where you'll get to go in, test out the system, and then give them feedback, and they'll make changes to the configuration based on the results of that.
Anthony, can you define UAT just?
I'm sorry, the user acceptance testing. So essentially, it's just testing from the people who use the system. So you'll go in and test it.
When you go in to test, they are asking for your personal cell phone and your personal email address. And there are people that want to use their county email and county phone number, it won't let them. Is there a reason for that?
I think it was a decision made by either the committee or HR, but I'll get clarification on that. So, and currently, I think that's the way I think about it.
Is that for multi-factor authentication?
I think it's for multi-factor authentication, but I think a lot of people don't have county cell phones, so that's, for anyone who does. And it's for uniformity more than likely, so, but I'll get clarification directly as to why. All right, so, they're finalizing the configuration, HR is, also a big thing is, as time clocks, you guys see Chronos time clocks out there, and there's a few different versions of it. We're gonna replace that with Dayforce time clocks, so they have already ordered them, and they're working on the deployment strategy. They're also working with IT on the best authentication and security methods. So we're in good shape there. It'll be very secure, and you'll be able to access it from multiple locations. Also, I wanted to highlight that HR, payroll, finance, IT, treasurer's office are working very closely on this initiative with the two vendors, the implementation vendor and the actual application owner. And it's going very well, and the project is on task. One thing I wanted to highlight is the finance ERP. Our hope was to start the RFP at the end of spring, at the beginning of summer, but we're going to wait. We're not going to start it until the HR payroll system is implemented. A lot of the same resources. They both are very complex projects that involve, a lot of moving pieces and a lot of other organizations within the county, including finance, the treasurer's office, and many more, procurement. So it won't start. And so I added in here 2025 for safety. We may start in 2024, but we're going to make sure we get the HR payroll implementation done right before we start the finance side. All right. Want to highlight the learning management system, which we will also do a presentation on, maybe in the next couple of weeks, if the next meeting, Madam Chair, if we can. But essentially, we talked about it before. Loom learning management system, it replaces course meal. The big item here is that the first course, number one, the launch is April 1st. And the first course that will be available through this new learning management system is our ethics training, which will be on April 15th. So you'll get a chance to see it. We'll also do a demo of the learning management system, hopefully in our next meeting, so that you are aware of it before it also takes effect. But the official cutover is April 1st for this new system. All right, all existing training that's out there now will be migrated over, and it gives us so many more possibilities. The old system was over 10 years old.
Sorry, did you have a question?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what is the Dayforce time clock? Is that for like hourly employees to check in? Is it literally a time clock? What is Dayforce time clock?
Oh, yeah, the Dayforce, right, going back to the
Yeah.
Dayforce implementation. It's just a time clock. It's just like the ones you see on the wall with people come in, they clock in and they clock out at the end of the day.
For the hourly people?
For hourly people
Okay.
only, yeah.
And the ERP is that enterprise resource planning system?
It is, yeah.
Okay, and what does that mean?
An ERP system is essentially a system that keeps track of critical administrative functions like finance, HR, procurement, supply management. things of that nature. So it's all the systems that run an organization that an organization uses to run day-to-day operations.
Thank you.
So
Anthony.
it's by far the biggest system that we have within the organization, comparable to a case management system, say for the courts, where all of the data, tons of data goes into it, and all organizations are affected by it.
And the Okta, my last question, the Okta security system, is that when you try to log on to your work computer and then Okta sends you a code on your
That's it.
personal phone?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We
Madam
have
Chair.
very smart committee members. I'm glad to hear that. You know the technology.
I just want to make sure I understand what all the
Yeah,
acronyms
that's
mean.
exactly it. So
Yeah.
it can either send you a text message or email, whichever is your preference, so that you can use that second code in case someone stole your password.
Yeah.
They won't have your cell phone or access to your email, hopefully, and that is a second form of authentication to make sure it's really you.
Okay,
And that's
excellent.
super important in this day and age.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
Okay, the next item, last but not least, is the mainframe sunsetting. So just wanted to let you know, it potentially, everything's going well. It may be in jeopardy, so we may have to extend it to 2025, which we are prepared to do. We have worked with some of the vendors to extend their contracts. The reason being, there's one application warrants owned by the sheriff's office that isn't off, and we didn't have a plan, but it sounds like they now have a replacement application. We just need to figure out timing, right? If they'll be able to actually move the warrants, data, and function off of the mainframe over to this new application by the end of this year. If so, then we're in great shape, and you'll see great savings next year. If not, you'll see some savings, but not the full blast until the following year in 2026. And really quickly, just wanted to highlight these. These are projects we completed, the main Caesar project, which the chair mentioned earlier. We participated in the boardroom renovations, the mics, the sound and video, and the rewiring of our station. Our team participated in. CrowdStrike implementation, that is cybersecurity software, provides us with 365 days a year of protection, 7 days a week. And essentially, we now have a third party we can go to who monitors our security at all times. They proactively look for threats and they'll notify us. But if we actually get compromised, we can go to this organization to help us mitigate the problem as quickly as possible, contain it, and help us get up and running as quickly as possible. So that's super exciting. Great thing about that, no real cost to us. The state provided that free to us as part of the infrastructure bill. They provided free licenses to all counties and municipalities in the state of Illinois. So it saved us, I think, $300,000 to $400,000, Joe? Yeah, $300,000 or $400,000 that we don't have to purchase. So it's a great thing. And then the last two projects, the police records management project is an upgrade of the existing application to a new cloud-based application that was in progress. And FOIA request tool is currently on hold. We have not started that one, but you'll hear more about it, hopefully, in one of my upcoming updates. That's it.
All right, thank you so much for all the project updates. There were quite a bit. And I'm looking forward to the other presentations later that we'll be doing. Okay, so is there any old business? And is there any new business?
I
Oh,
just have a quick question for Anthony on the boardroom renovation. Are they still working on that one camera that focuses on the chair because it was horribly muted color balance and now it's just flat out overexposed? So I didn't know if they were gonna
They
work
are.
on that.
They are. So we actually had someone come in. Sound Inc. is the company they're working with. They're the sound and video people. They came out the next day and fixed a few of the different problems that we had. Members, they had issues with his mic. They fixed all of those things. That particular item, they couldn't find an issue. So they're gonna have to come back out now that it's having additional problems. They'll come back out to see if they can resolve that problem. When they were
That's my
out.
wheelhouse there and I hate looking at
Yeah,
it.
when they were here, it worked fine, worked great.
Of
We couldn't
course.
actually find an issue when they were here, so we have to get them back
Sam
out.
and I tried to mute and say.
That problem is fixed, so.
And to that point of muting Zay, we are not going to have then a system that allows the chair to know who's punching in to see who wants to speak next.
No,
A
not
speak
yet.
lineup type thing, which is very
Would be awesome.
convenient and very effective, but it doesn't sound like it's going in that direction.
We presented that to, I think, the chair and some others.
Exactly.
It hasn't been approved
That's
yet.
fine.
Yeah, it just hasn't.
Deal
been.
with the drama.
But we did, we presented it, we think it makes sense, but, it was not approved for this particular reservation, but maybe sometime in the future.
Thanks.
Well,
Moving on
used
to
to
new
it, we
business,
used-
is there any new business? Okay, without objection, we're adjourned.